If anyone should ask who he is, tell them he's a prisoner. You're minding him for General Lafayette. His company's safe away already. No one should ask any questions.
My uncle.
Here. Take these.
I'm becoming quite used to wearing irons.
You didn't get used to it. Believe me. Go. Save our son.
All the way from Providence, Rhode Island, welcome to Outlander Cast. It's a podcast dedicated to the show Outlander on Stars.
Sing me a song of a lass that is gone. Say, could that lass be I? Mary of soul, she sailed on a day over the sea to
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. My name is Mary Larson.
My name is Blake, and I love myself some Jane. I'm in on Jane.
Awesome.
I'm in on the Jane life.
I'm glad you are. A deeply troubled soul,
Yeah,
making choices left and right.
just that's pretty typical of a Blake character.
Yeah.
Just some really bad things happening to them,
Yeah.
making some choices, killing some people, doing what they got to do.
God.
I think you know what I like best about her? Not wearing a wig. It's real hair.
Yeah?
Real hair.
Looks great.
Looks great. Looks fantastic. And I think that's one of the things that I struggle with Outlander sometimes. The wigs are just so bad
Agreed.
that they feel like fake characters. They feel like caricatures of themselves. But for some reason...
Like Bree's wig. There is no way a mama who's lost her babies, who's lost her son, just got her son back, running around with shotguns, is going to have voluptuous, blown out bangs.
Right.
I saw the volume in there and I was like, she did not have time for dry shampoo.
Yep.
She did not have time for a round brush and a little blow dryer. You want to know what happens? It gets glued to your face. You tuck it back. You look like a wet rat by this point in your life if you're running around having this much stress in your bangs. People who've never had bangs, you need to understand there is maintenance, and not just daily maintenance. I mean like multiple times a day you got to work on your bangs.
Right.
You got to fluff. You got to brush. You got to, don't touch them. Don't touch them because the oils in your hands are going to get it all messy. But like if you're running around in the woods, shotgunning, doing all this stuff, and then while you're fixing a dirty van, your bangs still look like you just left Fantastic Sam's. Get out of here.
Best
your bangs
friends
distract
Best
me.
friends don't let friends get bangs.
I love bangs. I love bangs so much.
Depends on what kind of bangs. If you're doing the side swept bangs, I'm in.
I love those. I love the Zoe Deschanel
But yeah,
new
if
girl bangs.
If we're doing Zoe Deschanel
that
bangs,
takes a lot of upkeep.
oh, certain people can carry those. Only certain people.
And then it takes a lot of work, like I said.
If you're just like letting them just fly and just like whatever, they're the worst thing that's ever happened.
I love bangs. Anyway, hey guys, guess what? We're going to not be talking about bangs in this episode. We're going to be chatting about a lot of things. We want to thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank our friends, of course, at jointhenerdclan.com. We'll talk a little more about that later. But for now, let's get into the episode.
Mini plot recap time, Marvin. What do you got?
Okay, so in this episode, we get lots of Lord John Grey seeing all sorts of people. All sorts of people.
Only through one
Whether
eye.
they're
You're welcome.
his brother in a flashback. We get him being seen by Claire when he's in the little medic tent. Gets to see Jamie. No, I'm sorry. He gets to see a previous lover. Maybe, you know, like a little like, hey, someone who had the right to touch me. Excuse me.
Some bad blood happening right there.
And he gets sent off to go hopefully save our son, William. let's see. We have Ian and Rachel doing a little face painting, aka nipple painting, little dove action as he gets ready for war.
Did she bite the nipple? That's the question.
Lafayette may be taking on a very coveted title of Sir Gifts-a-Lot because Sir Gifts-a-Lot is in chains all the time and he can't be purchasing gifts, whereas Lafayette, the king of cheese, wine, and eels. That's my recap.
I wish that was a thing in Hamilton. If they talked about eel, that would be great.
No, that would have been a funny line. I agree.
Yes. All right, so this episode was entitled "You Dinna Get Used to It," which is obviously the line that Jamie says to Lord John, which we just played at the top of our episode. The writer was, oh, by the way, I loved the titling of these episodes for 7B has been phenomenal. They weave the titles in to the plot and to the character-based things so well. And we'll get into what I think of You Dinna Get Used to It, but really liked it. The writer was Diana Gabaldon. Yay! All the book reader fans just hold up their hands and rejoice and say, "Wee! It is her." Oh, herself. Yes, herself wrote this episode, and it is perfect by every stretch. No, that's okay.
Blake.
Diana Gabaldon wrote this episode. She has indeed written 2 other episodes in the Outlander verse of the TV show. She wrote 211, Vengeance is Mine, and then 511, Journey Cake. The director was Jan Mathis, the same guy who directed the last episode, and he also directed 2 episodes of The Last Kingdom, as well as 2 episodes of Vikings Valhalla. And I will get into another reason why I love Jane, and it is Last Kingdom related. We'll put it that way.
All
Okay.
right.
All right, your kilt rating. How many kilts are you giving this episode?
Okay, friends, don't throw Rotten Tomatoes at me. 4.75.
Oh,
Shame.
What's yours, Blake?
how in the world it is a 4.75?
I'll tell you in a minute. It's still very good. Still great. That's still an A.
Wow.
Still an A.
Wow. All right. I'm giving it a 4.75 as well. We are twinsies.
I love this.
We are twinsies. I liked it the same way that I liked the last episode. Same exact rating.
That's awesome.
Same all of it.
That's
so,
awesome.
Here's what I'll say. This season has been good.
It's been
Very,
very
it's been
good.
consistently 7B has been consistently good.
Yes, I agree. I've been loving it.
Yep. Okay. Your GBG, you're good, you're bad, and you're great.
Okay, so before the Rotten Tomatoes come out, like I said, I've been giving most episodes 5s. You can't be staying on 5s all the time, friends.
Yep.
Okay, my good for this episode.
Got to have somewhere to go.
Mrs. Fig is the new Mrs. Fitz. Friggin' love this woman.
Yes.
Oh my God. I need just a sitcom with her. Just telling people off left and right. Oh, well, I hope you are good in the kitchen because I got an apron that fits you. Who do you think you are? Of course my kitchen's great, but it would be nice to know your name.
Yeah, exactly.
Love this woman.
Oh, it's going to be tonight? You're
Love
working.
this woman.
Hope you're used to it.
Yes.
And that guy's face was like, oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. I know that I'm going to be working tonight.
Oh, love her. Love her. So she was my good because she truly made me laugh multiple times in that short scene.
Mm-hmm.
My bad. I am not faulting herself, but I'm kind of bored.
Really?
And here's the thing, friends. I know where we are in this ride, in this roller coaster.
Sure.
We are at episode 4 of 8. Because this is 7.14. And
Yeah.
there's 8 episodes, right? Oh no. We're not.
There's 8 episodes in total, yes.
Oh shoot.
But it's 16 episodes. So we are like, the next episode is the penultimate episode.
Actually, no. Then no. Then no. Okay? Here's the scoop, poops.
Disregard everything she just said.
Then wow. Then yeah, I am bored a little bit. And and maybe that's it. Maybe you know what it is? Maybe you know when the tsunami comes and all the water comes away from the beach.
Sure.
And you're just like, oh, this is so nice. Look at all the sand. And it's because the friggin' waves crash upon you and you
Yes.
die.
Yes.
That's what I am. I'm just like in a lot of sand right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. And it wasn't anything for like lack of character.
Mhm.
I don't know. I had for my good to be Miss Fig.
That's true. I guess you got to buy into certain things in order to like this episode. And I think I bought into what they wanted me to buy into. And I'm not sure if you did. That's the problem.
I don't think I mean, it's not that I didn't buy in. Like, I know what's happening.
No, I know, but
It's just, I think I know what's coming too.
Yeah.
So to me, this was just kind of like, okay, these things have to be lined up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what this is? It's the freaking kitchen prep. Okay, so between
Good point.
It's all the chopping. You
Yeah.
know you're going to have a delicious meal that is
Yeah.
going to be friggin' amazing. I don't enjoy cooking. I don't enjoy cooking. I don't enjoy the prep. Even if you have good music on, I don't like watching all the things, chopping all the things. No. So that's what we're doing. For me, we're setting a lot of things up.
Yep. It's doing all the heavy lifting.
Yeah, and that's just not for me, and that's okay. I still gave it a 4.75. I gladly rewatch these episodes. There's nothing that I hate about this episode. 4.75, still fantastic rating.
Yep.
Just not my fiver. Just not one that I'm going to be like, ooh, what episode do I want to rewatch? The cheese one.
The cheese one. Thank you so much.
Because that is my great is Lafayette. So my
Yes.
good is Miss Fig.
Yep.
My great is all things Lafayette. I loved the bumping into this
Lafayette.
turnip. I friggin' love Lafayette. I love his eels. I love Claire's reaction to his eels. I love Claire eating his cheese because let's be real, that's what everyone did this time of year. Everyone's eating cheese. So I loved all things Lafayette. I loved all conversations around him. I loved Claire talking with Jamie about him. So that's my GBG.
Okay.
And I still love this episode, so I'm not going to be hating on it. But like I said, I see everything being set up for prep. It's not Diana's fault. I'm actually really glad that she had this episode because she was able to bring herself through it. But it's setting things up that are really, really important that people who aren't her can handle, if that makes sense. So she did a fantastic job with it. It's just I'm impatient. I'm ready for 7:15. I'm ready for 7:15, 7:16.
Sure. I feel like the past 2 episodes have been a lot of placement. Okay, like we're getting ready for the big thing at the end of the season. We got to get the pieces into the right place, which is probably why the first half of this second half season was moving at lightning speed.
You know what I think it is too is that nothing that I thought would be shocking to you as a watcher was shocking. Like for Jane to be like, "Oh, I killed that bad guy." You were like, "Oh, okay, makes sense. He was a bad guy."
Yeah.
And like for William now to be in these bad hands by a double crosser, you weren't like, "Oh, I'm surprised." You're just
Sure.
like, "Okay." So I think that's the other thing. It's like all these kind of really important things that happened, you were not surprised by, which makes me wonder how many other just show watchers weren't surprised by it. So I'm ready to like, okay, things are lined up. Let's get some drama going.
Do you think it's more? Well, you know what? Let's put
do your
a pin
GBG.
put a pin in that conversation. Don't forget it because I want to have that conversation. Okay. All right, my good is the lighting in the scene between Ian and Rachel when they are doing the war paint. Well, I mean, first, I love that scene where she's like, "Hey, why don't you teach me? Like, do you normally do this alone?" These are really cool questions and actions that I think a couple like this would be doing at this point of their relationship.
Agreed.
And I like that. I like that she is curious and she wants to participate in things that are important to Ian. But again, like I said, it's the lighting in this scene, which is phenomenal. It is soft. It is, it's encompassing. But what really stands out to me are the 2 candles that are behind Ian and Rachel on the fireplace. The way that they're placed is similar to that of like halos around Ian and Rachel.
Ooh.
And it is beautifully shot, and it's like almost an aura, and the 2 auras are combining. Like it's they're meeting in the middle, and it's a beautiful shot. Go back and watch it again, and look at the candles behind Ian and Rachel, and it helps illuminate, quite literally, the entire scene, but also the warmth of these characters and how it's being created. The bad for me, all of the momentum of the Rob Cameron story is just gone.
What do you mean?
I mean that I think the break killed the momentum of this storyline. It didn't feel urgent.
Okay.
It didn't feel pressing in any manner. It was just like, okay, Jemmy's still here. Rob Cameron was caught. He got away because he has two buddies, and he shows up again in his work truck with these two randos.
Callahan.
Whatever. It's random guy 1 and random guy 2. And it's like all of a sudden he has these buddies who are trying to like partake in assault and theft and larceny. Like, come on, dude. And Rob Cameron's showing up at Fiona's house for reasons? Just cuz?
No, because he wanted to talk with them.
Yeah, but why? Why? He just shows up.
Because he's crazy.
Exactly. He's just a crazy guy doing crazy things.
Knows that she has like very few friends there. I'm going to go and find you.
I think that the momentum of this storyline is just gone. And the reason why I think it's gone is because it feels so shoehorned in. It feels like a thing that gets Bree back to the 1700s. That's all it does. And when Roger doesn't feel urgency about it, I definitely don't. And it just, the obvious choice for anybody at this time is for Bree to go back. Anybody would make that choice. Like, there's no being safe. Like, it feels boring. I really don't. It just feels so far-fetched. Even for Outlander, it just feels really shoehorned in. My great. I have two greats. The first is Jane. I really like Jane. And we talked about the wig and the hair, and she feels like a real character. The Last Kingdom relation that I have for Jane is, do you remember in season 1, spoilers, Uhtred's girlfriend, Iseult? Iseult. Iseult and Uhtred have the hottest scene in all of television history when they first meet. Oh my goodness gracious, it's fantastic. Even more than the glove scene in Bridgerton. Jane reminds me of Iseult. What she does, what Iseult does for Uhtred, and how she kind of takes him out of this shell and makes him consider different things and whatever. Jane is certainly doing that for William. And I love their relationship. I love that she is representative of about all the things William has just tried to not be. And it takes that kind of relationship to bring someone to their full, or at least put them on the path to their full journey, and making them the person that they need to become. Now, of course, in all things Outlander, this is an early outlandish theory for you. In all things Outlander, we know we can't have nice things. So it is an absolute fracking guarantee that she's dead by season's end. Guaranteed. Because you can't get away with killing a British captain in cold blood and just not have any repercussions. Like, there are too many British soldiers around, too many British officers, and what that will do to William because she's under his protection. Like, it's a whole thing. That's definitely going to happen. But I love Jane. I love that she just pushes William. And she's a reminder, it feels like, that he is the son of a Highland Scotsman. Mm-hmm. Like that wild, barbaric, if you will. Mm-hmm. And he wants to accept it, but can't, but knows he should. Like, it's a whole thing. And I love Jane so much. I think she's great. I love she busts his balls. I love she is Iseult. Or you know what she is too? She's Jon Snow's girlfriend in season 3 of Game of Thrones.
Yes.
She's the what's her name there? His actual real life.
I want to call her Astrid, but she's not. Astrid.
No, she's not Astrid. What the heck's her name?
We know who you're talking about, the redhead.
Yeah. Oh God, what the heck is her name?
We know who you're talking about. It's
I know.
okay.
I know. I want to know. I don't know. It's okay, but she's this.
No.
Oh, hold on.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
That one. All right. Anyway. But my real great is Jaime feeling the real pressure of being in the army and being a brigadier general, and admitting his vulnerability to Claire, saying like, like I've led men before, but like I knew their names, I knew them. Now I got 300 souls. That's a lot. They're just under my command. I like also too. He's like, yeah, I got guys to fetch my pistols. I got secretaries. I got this. I got that. But the fact that he is like legitimately stressed out about 300 guys under his command, again, that's the kind of thing that makes him human, not just a caricature. I really like that. So that's my good, my bad, and my great.
Awesome.
All right. So, what were we supposed to talk about that we had to put a pin in? Oh, come on, Marvin. I told you not to forget.
I forget all the time. Can I just say, one of the things that I loved in this episode is how Jaime got to have some of his humor. And that's how you know Diana wrote it. Jaime's a very humorous guy in the books, as you know, because you've been reading some of them. And so, like, when they're talking about the rabbit snare.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh, I don't know if it's a weapon. It is to the bunnies.
Yeah.
You know,
Here's another outlandish theory for you. That guy's totally going to be dead by the end.
If you get a name, it's not good.
Yeah. By the end of Monmouth, you're dead. You are dead. And it's a guarantee he dies in Jaime's arms. Oh, totally. Gonna happen.
Oh, my God.
Totally gonna happen. Oh, Mary, I remember now.
Tell.
Well, you said that I wasn't surprised about...
Oh, yes.
Yes, right? My question to you, and this is what I wanted to discuss. Do you think I wasn't surprised because we've been kind of desensitized to these random twists and turns because this season has just moved so fast?
Ooh, I don't know. So it's hard, right? Because I have to see this through the eyes of you and the other people who are show watchers, who are not time travelers and know the things in the future. Like, it's whether you're a book reader of this series or if you've been a book reader of any series and then watched a show or movie of it, knowing certain things, like even people who've seen Wicked on stage and now they go see Wicked Part 1 in the movie theater. Sure. It's like, you know what's going to happen. And so you enjoy the ride a ton. You know that they're going to make some changes, but it's very interesting to see if just the viewers, just the show watchers, pick up all the pieces and are shocked by it as you are when you're reading. I feel like things are very different because you're right. They have the time. You have the time to get lost, to get distracted, to have some things put in motion. But I agree with you, Blake. I think because things had to move so quickly that it might be making you feel that way. And also, too, Blake, you analyze the show and you get a lot of things right. So that's the other thing that's hard for me. And I hear it from so many people who are podcast listeners of ours. They're like, how does Blake get so many things right? You get a lot of things wrong, but like you get a lot of things right. So it's fun for me to sit there and be like, is he going to get this? Is he going to be surprised?
Sure.
Is he going to be like, called it? So I don't know. And that's why I feel like things were just kind of set up because I knew things weren't going to be surprising to me. It was a delightful episode to watch because I felt like they were very true to their characters and because it was fun to see so many different characters that I'm happy we're able to make it into the show and to see plot lines that I'm happy we're able to make in the show. But I just didn't feel like you were surprised that like the situation that William's now going to be in or what happened to Jane. You like it though.
I like what William... well, first, you could see a million miles away why Jane went to William. Like, you just knew it, right? Because she's not going to William, because I love you and I miss you. Like, oh, no. This girl is all about survival, right? And she's doing what it takes, especially with her sister, to get it done. So you knew that she got herself into some trouble somehow. whether it was, killing the guy that wanted to do some really nasty things to her, or whatever. Like it could have been any range of things, but you knew she was going to get herself in trouble. I will.
But what will you say about Richardson, Captain Richardson? How do you feel about that aspect? Because I think, I don't know, like how you haven't liked him. You felt like he's been shady all along.
Yeah.
So I feel, was this not surprising to you that he's going to now do this to William?
No. I don't see the reason why he's doing it to William. I think he's doing it to William because the plot needs him to do it to William. Like, William hasn't done anything to him. If William did him dirty...
Well, it's not about William. It's about Lord John and the Sway and his brother. Like, it has nothing to do with William. And I think that's part of Richardson's face
that's
as
fair.
he gives the letter. It's like, oh, man, like, you're going to serve a big purpose. But I feel... Because, like, William at the end, he's like, I'm not going to let you down.
Right. And he's like, oh.
Yeah. Like, oh,
That's fair.
man.
That's fair.
You are a pawn in this whole play.
And you don't even know.
Yes.
Like, that is fair. I will give that to you. Now that I see it through that lens, it makes more sense. No, was I surprised? No, I wasn't.
What's crazy is that this is the same guy that warned Lord John about Claire.
Yeah, good point.
And
Yeah, but did he do that on purpose though? Because he wanted to use Claire as a tool, right? Mm-hmm. So he gave him an opportunity to be like, "Hey, fix your house." Mm-hmm. Like that's how you cultivate those relationships. Like, I see those commercials for Masterclass online, and one of them is the CIA is really good at relationships, and that's what Captain Richardson is. Unfortunately, he's messing with Claire and Jamie, Lord John, and the universe, because the universe always falls on Claire and Jamie's side. So he's probably going to get his comeuppance relatively soon. Mm-hmm. So no, I'm not surprised that Richardson's just not a good dude. Not a good dude. The other thing I would say too is now we have the introduction of Percy Wainwright.
oh, yes.
Which is interesting.
How'd you feel about him?
Percy Wainwright.
Quote, my stepbrother. That's what we call
Right,
people
yeah.
now.
How do I feel about him? Do you want to know the truth?
Yeah.
The truth is, it feels cheap.
Oh.
It feels cheap.
Does it feel that way? Okay, so here's the thing. Like, they had to make choices about what they put in and don't put in.
Sure.
So do you think it just feels cheap to you because it's like, whoa, okay, this is quick.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Okay, so maybe if the show had had more time to breathe, it wouldn't have felt that way?
Yeah, because all of a sudden, now this guy who's Lafayette's right-hand man, to use another Hamilton quote, he's sporting a fake French accent to Lafayette, who just happened to be as British as Lord John and had a relationship with Lord John at the same time. And Lafayette bumps into Claire the same way that Benedict Arnold bumped into Claire.
You bump into people at the market all the time.
It's just a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot to it. I guess for me, it feels very repetitive, if you know what I mean. Like, there's a British captain who likes young children, wants to do really bad things to people.
That's how you feel about him?
Oh, no. But like the story in general, like there's a British captain at the whorehouse who likes young kids, wants to do really bad things to people, just the same way that Blackjack did, right?
So you're saying this about Richardson?
Yeah,
like
I'm saying this about not Richardson, the captain
Harkness?
that Jane ended up killing.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Ian and Rachel. It feels slightly repetitive of what they're doing. Not to say that I didn't like it, but it feels slightly repetitive
I think
what Jamie and Claire did and what they were doing in last episode.
I think it's just the fastness of the season.
Yeah.
I really do, because I think that the characters are different and rich, and yet some of the problems that you have are just relationships blossoming also. That would be natural. Just like how you said at the beginning, how you found Rachel and Ian prepping to be very natural, to be what these people would be doing.
Sure.
So, yes, both Ian and Jamie are in the military, and they're going to be prepping with their wives and having these deep conversations with them
Sure.
as they approach. And also, there are bad people who do bad things to younger people, and it's not great, Bob. and I'm glad that it wasn't able to happen, thanks to Jane's actions. So
Sure.
I'm excited about Percy. I am grateful that he was able to do this and that he was able to warn Lord John Grey. I really enjoyed that whole conversation between the two of them. I don't know. It's just also allowing Lord John to shine a little bit more.
Sure,
I mean, even with one eye, that guy's doing such a great job. And then, of course, how he leaves and says, I'm going to go save our son.
Yeah, I like that.
Saying that to Jamie. Oh, so good.
Well, Jamie says it to him, go save our son.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, yes. But that's what I mean. It's I love that for them.
Yep. I will say that, like I mentioned earlier in this episode, Mary, that the title for this episode is fantastic. You didn't get used to it for a couple of reasons. And I think they're both Lord John related. One, he's wearing the chains now, the irons.
Jamie says, you didn't get used to it.
And how that mirrors their relationship when Lord John bandaged Jamie. I wonder if Jamie will get an opportunity to bandage Lord John now in some way, the way that Lord John did for Jamie. But I like seeing that mirroring of that relationship and how the turntables, right?
It's Diana. It's Diana. I'm telling you.
I do like that.
It's also I liked about this title is that I was thinking about you and how you're meeting more historical people in this episode. You of course met Lafayette and you met Lee.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Claire says I don't know anything about Lee, and I'm like, well, obviously you haven't listened to Hamilton. Yeah. But we knew about Lee even pre-Hamilton.
Well, I did because
but I did too. And I wonder if that's because we're revolutionary states.
probably.
I think, and this is something that I would just be interested to know. So listeners, if you don't live in the original 13
Did you know about
colonies,
Charles Lee?
Yeah. Was that part of your upbringing that you knew
Right.
he was a failure and a jabroni?
Big time jabroni.
So if you listened to or watched Outlander, Hamilton, because
Yes.
Hamilton, they make that pretty clear. But
Yeah.
it was because I was sitting there, I was like, Claire, you lived in Boston.
Yeah, how do you not know about Charles
not
Lee?
know about Lee? So I found that to not be realistic, but then I thought, okay, you know what? She wasn't raised in our school system.
True.
And fine. Because it's not like Lafayette, there's things named all over the place here.
Yes. Everywhere.
Yeah. So
There's actually a street right next to ours named Lafayette.
yes. So so all she needed was to, go down some streets here in New England, she'd be fine. But I found that a little interesting where I was like, but you lived in Boston.
Yeah.
And you know a lot about the Revolution, but you didn't know him.
Yeah.
And you have kind of this amazing memory, but it's okay.
Yes.
Bree will know who Lee is due to her upbringing.
I would hope so. I would hope so. And you know what the funny thing is, Mary? Part of me thinks they don't have Claire remember Lee in any capacity because, well, I'll get that in my real outlandish
Lee's
theory.
in charge
of the week.
of Jamie.
Yeah, exactly.
So how did you feel about that? Once again,
I feel like I know where they're going with this.
Thank you, Hamilton. But once again, Blake and I
will give you my. Do you want me to give you my official outlandish theory right now? All right, I'll give you my official outlandish theory. My official outlandish theory of the week is this: they don't have Claire remember Lee at all because Lee is, within the context of the story, is commanding Jamie's men, right? And Jamie has been making it very abundantly clear he wants his militia trained, not just to fight, but to get home and to do the right thing and giving people weapons and like, we're going to do this right. But they can't have Claire say, oh, Jamie, Lee really screws up the Battle of Monmouth for a multitude of reasons. There are people that say that Washington screwed it up. There are people that say that Lee screwed it up. There are people that say both of them screwed it up. But she can't say that. Because if she did, then different things would happen. But what I do think will happen is that because Jamie has now cultivated this relationship with George Washington, and because Washington has now seen Jamie and Claire in such a nice light for having dinner at their house, Jamie is going to be one of the reasons why Washington ends up finding out that Lee has been like a bad news dude.
Interesting.
And Jamie will be the reason why Lee gets court-martialed eventually at the end of Monmouth.
Interesting.
That's my feeling. Like Jamie will be the proof that Lee was bad news, because he's willingly going to take that information to Washington.
Interesting.
That's my thought.
Okay. How do you feel about cheese?
Hold on.
Mock me.
Please hang up and try again.
So that's that.
How do you feel about cheese, Blake?
Again, this is one of those repetitive things that she kind of just bumps into him, the way that she just bumped into Benedict Arnold.
Not asking about Lafayette. I'm talking about cheese.
Well, he's the one who brings the cheese.
Yes, he has a great cheese selection.
Oh, he's
Have you had Roquefort cheese?
Nope. I'm not a big cheese guy. Like,
okay.
If you put it in front of me, I'll eat it.
So you weren't like sitting there when Claire was upstairs nibbling the cheese, and then Jamie comes over and she gives him a little nibble. You weren't like there in the moment with them.
No, because you want to know why? Cheese is a condiment. It's an add-on. It's not a main course.
What if it's like very good cheese?
I got to have a cracker. At the least, I got to have a cracker. Cheese is a thing you put on something. It's not just a thing that you eat for the sake of it. Unless it's a cheese stick. Then that's different. Because then the action of the peeling, that sets it apart.
I think this cheese is great. I think this cheese is amazing cheese.
I'm just not a big cheese guy.
That's okay.
I don't know enough about cheese. I don't know if I like stinky cheese. I don't know if definitely don't like blue cheese. That's weird. I know I like mozzarella cheese and brie. I love brie. I mean, on goat cheese, if it's fried.
Roquefort is a sheep milk blue cheese. Could you tell that it was blue cheese from the picture?
Out. Nope. I'm out. Don't want anything to do with it.
Oh, okay.
If it's blue cheese, I'm out.
Oh. It's white, tangy, creamy, slightly moist in the veins of blue mold. It has characteristics
Out.
of
Veins
acid.
of blue mold? Don't
blue-
need that in
The
my
blue
life.
veins provide a sharp tang. There's no rind. The exterior is edible and salty. So
If we have an issue where there are veins of blue mold in any in any food that I eat or in any food that someone wants me to consume, I'm going to say no, thanks. There's veins of blue mold in that food.
why do you think that's bad?
If there was veins of blue mold in your bread, are you eating it?
Why do you think it's bad?
Oh, answer the question. If there's veins of blue mold in your bread, are you eating? Are you looking at that going, tasty?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll eat around it.
Out. 100%
What's wrong with mold?
Mold is gross. The only thing that mold is good for is penicillin. That's it.
Gross.
Mold. Veins of blue mold. Nope. We're good. Take that back. Don't gotta go home, but you can't stay here.
Where's Claire's little jars?
Yeah, right.
Where's her bread that she was, doing all
man.
those experiments with?
I'd rather be like Claire doing ether than eating veins of blue mold. All set. But the man's got nice taste in cheese. Fair. Fair. It's a little much for me.
My God.
But watching her eat that eel, that was glorious.
What would you do if Lafayette sitting next to
No.
you?
You know what? I can give you a real life story about this. A real life story. When Mary and I first started dating, I had taken her out to a number of different places. I took her to the Capitol Grill. I took her to Fenway. We went to go sit on the monster seats back when it was a really big deal when they first came out. And I spent an ungodly amount of money doing it, but I was happy to do it. I took her all over the place. And then one day she came up to me. She said, Blake, I want to take you out somewhere. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm down. What do you want to do? She's like, I want to go to this Japanese restaurant. And I said, awesome, let's go. I'm in. So we go, and it's one of those restaurants where you take off your shoes, you sit down on the ground. It's like an authentic experience, which was actually really cool. I was into it. And then Mary says, I'll order, blah, 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 blah. Awesome, cool, I don't have to do anything. Out comes the biggest server platter of sushi I've ever seen in my natural-born life. It was just sushi to the gills. And I don't do sushi. I just don't do it. I'm out on sushi, just as much as blue veins of mold. Mary's like, okay, here's some soy sauce, and here's this, and you dunk this and that, and blah, 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 blah. And I start eating the sushi. And like, I'm sweating, and I have to concentrate so I don't puke. And I could feel the muscles in my stomach starting to strain and pulsate. You know that feeling you get when you're about to puke and your stomach starts like zapping you a little bit? Mm-hmm. That was me. And I'm like concentrating. I'm drinking, like trying to get water. I'm muscling this thing down, and I'm only on the first piece of sushi. And I ate it, and I'm like, I muscled it down. I drank a whole thing of water. And she's like, do you like it? I'm like, yeah, it's very good.
With your shoes off, how do you like it?
It's so good. So good that I'm just going to sit here and relish. I'm going to relish this as my stomach spasms me into oblivion. So,
so you would have done it. You would have been like Claire.
Yeah, I did it.
And he said, oh, how is it? And you just said, I loved Jamie watching her.
Like he knows.
I would not have eaten it.
How do you not? This guy gives you this thing.
I don't care. I would just lie and say I was allergic.
They don't know what allergies are at that time.
Whatever. I'm a doctor person. I'm a healer. I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. It gives me hives.
Oh, okay. Fair. That's fair.
Makes my throat clench up.
Jellied eel.
Yeah, I would just lie. I'm already allergic to scallops and oysters, so what's one more sea creature to be allergic to? Jellied eel. Get out of here.
Having it, again, by the way, Marvin, in Lord John's house this dinner, where they're squatting, and they just decided, hey, we're going to redecorate. We're just going to throw up this American
Jamie's
flag.
redecorating Jamie style. He gets a, let's be real, a shitty chandelier.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh, this'll do.
Yep.
Jamie, listen, we know that you're more of a minimalistic, boy raised in stables, living next to horses, eating grass kind of feel.
Yep.
Your son.
You're basic.
Your son broke the most glorious chandelier.
Yeah. And you went ahead and you watched Joanna Gaines, and you were like, "We're gonna go farmhouse special, farmhouse chic."
That's exactly what he does. Are you kidding me?
Oh man, it's okay. Lord John's in all of his feels right now because of the other Percy. Like he's in his room right now listening to like Taylor Swift's Reputation.
And then they put up the beautiful new flag, the present from George Washington.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, another great gift giver now that Lord John's, stuck in irons. And John's like, are you freaking kidding? First the chandelier, now this? It's not even ironed. It's wrinkly. What have you done with my home? My beautiful home that I had a custom decorator. I had David Totera come here. Yeah. And this is what you did with it. Oh my God.
He again, he was after Percy, he was listening to some Reputation.
Mm-hmm.
And now after this, after the American flag, he's moved on to the Tortured Poets department.
Oh, I see.
That's
Yes,
where he is
yes,
right now
I
in
would
his
agree.
life.
Yes.
He's feeling all the errors.
Yes.
But maybe, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe he'll move on to Lover. I don't know. Maybe things will get better in life.
I hope so. I do still feel very bad for Lord John.
Me too.
And this was actually going to be my bad, was that I'm actually still mad at Jamie, and I'm kind of mad at Claire, because Claire did two to tango.
Sure.
Okay, she was actually like a really rough tangoer.
Oh yeah.
With Lord John, and Jamie's just la-di-da-di-da, but still giving John the side eye, still being mean. Now, it's one thing if you're in the camp and you have to put on a face, but you're in his house, rolling his eyeball around with honey, redecorating in a very bad way with an unironed flag, and you're still not going to be nice. You're not going to say, I'm sorry. I didn't know I punched your eyeball to make it a hard-boiled egg. Sorry.
This is where I think sometimes Matt Roberts gets himself into trouble.
No, it's Jamie. Jamie
Well,
is
let me finish. I think Matt Roberts gets himself into trouble sometimes because he wants to do the right thing. He wants to get to all the beats of Diana's story. And he knows that book lovers have certain things that they absolutely need, that they need to get to. And I feel like the stuff with Jamie and John should have had some more time this episode. So, like, have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Even if, like, Jamie's still mad at John.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's see that. Let's have John try to talk to Jamie. And, like, Jamie be a dick.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think that's far more important than some of the other gobbledygook that we've gotten, right?
Gobbledygook, yeah.
And because like, we had a conversation last episode where it's like, there are certain things you just kind of have to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of them. And it's not even about the wedding or being upset that he slept with Claire. It's, I just punched your face so hard that I broke it.
Yeah.
I broke your face, dude. And then I have to hold your eyeball and move it around. Yeah, you know what? I'm still pissed, but I think I went a little too far.
Yeah. And I don't know. Once again, this is the stubborn streak of Jamie Fraser that we just have to live with. But I can see why John has still got a little chip on his shoulder. Like,
sure.
Oh, look at me. I'm wearing irons again with my hard-boiled egg eye. And I just saw my ex-lover with an eye patch, so I didn't really see him.
Not even T-Swift could help me with that.
Oh, God.
I had to move on to Tortured Poets department.
Maybe Ian can paint me an eyeball on the back of my eyelid skin. Kind of look like Johnny Depp.
in what's it called? Pirates of the Caribbean 3?
That's what he would need to do.
Oh, no, Pirates of the Caribbean 2. Sorry. Get that right. I will say this, though, Mary. I really love Lord John. I love what they've done with his character. I really liked the cold open. I thought the cold open with Hal was good, if not a little on the nose, with John saying, okay, well, I'll never go and support the Americans. And then the very next scene is him pledging allegiance to the American cause. And it's a little on the nose, but I like it. And I like that Lord John and Jamie and William are all surviving right now. And surviving and the actions that you have to take, you didn't get used to it.
You didn't get used to it.
Jane is a perfect representation. I'm bringing it all back.
Mm-hmm.
This is why we're professional podcasters, ladies and gents. Jane is the perfect representation of you didn't get used to it.
You also did not get used to gout.
Oh, yeah, gout's not great. I actually had a friend that had gout.
No.
Yeah, it's
a
true.
Young person?
No, he was older. But he had gout. He drank too many beers. Way too many beers. He had to stop drinking beers because of all of the wheat and all of the yeast. He was like crushing like 15, 20 beers a night.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, I'm glad that he's alive.
Yes, right.
That's pretty intense.
I don't know. I think John is great because she's a perfect foil for William. And
Joan, you said John. I think John is great.
I'm sorry, I meant Jane.
Jane.
I think
my
Jane.
mistake. Look at me. I'm making up a brand new person.
I know Joan. I think Jane is great for William because she is a perfect foil for him. She is all about the survival. She doesn't even know how to use money. She is pragmatic. She'll make cold, hard decisions. And this is in the middle of William trying to redefine himself now that he knows that Jamie is in fact his biological son. And the same thing I think could be said of Lord John. Lord John, he needs to make these shifts in his allegiance, whether it's from, England to the United States of America, as Jamie so aptly says in the dinner. When you start putting in all of the different things that he's done for the Fraser family, and what his love of Jamie has cost him in many different ways, and the things that he's needed to do to survive, I really believe when he sees that American flag in his dining room, you can see all of the things that he held sacred are just coming apart at the seams. The way that I think William, when he looks at Jane, everything he loved and everything he saw, it's all coming apart at the seams. And I think William's need and desire to work for Richardson is his last gasp at being like, no, I'm going to go back to my life. I'm going to go back to it. Like I want to get things right. I want to get this letter to the Hessians. I'm not going to let you down. That's his last grasp at his life. After this, certainly after Jane dies, nothing's going to be the same again.
Interesting.
So that's that. All right. Anything
What do you
else?
think's going to happen to Richardson?
Oh, he's going to get his.
How?
He's going to get his. The British will catch him, and he'll be hanged.
Okay. You think he's basic? Like, how is he going to get caught?
Lord John. Lord John. And it'll be through Hal somehow. That's my guess.
Interesting.
Because Lord John now knows the deal. By the way, I love Claire saying, well, listen, we're on the same side. Like I said no, but we're on the same side. I'm trying to help here. Like I'm not going to damage you in any way, but everything else out the window. See you later. I don't know. That's my thought.
Love it. When Washington thanks Claire for the amazing dinner, Miss Fig gives this little look like,
Hey, excuse
I'm
me?
the one that did it.
Yeah, right.
Why do you think Jane can speak Latin?
Oh, that's a good question. I like that too. I'm sure because she said she's been in the whole house since she was 10.
Yeah.
Right?
And she said, there's a lot you don't know about me.
Right. So is there an upbringing that we don't know about? Or did she just pick up Latin in the whole house? Because that's what guys used to use when they wanted to talk to each other, like without anybody else knowing, which is the reason why William does that, because he doesn't want anybody to know that he's cursing in any way.
Isn't it interesting? She can speak Latin and yet doesn't know how to use money.
Very interesting.
Gets back his Gordet, though. Gets back his
Gorget.
Gorget.
Gorget. No, not Gordet.
What am I? I don't even know what I'm saying half the time right now. I just made Jane Joan.
Well, and see, that's another reason why I like Jane. She knows, okay, I can go back to William. Yeah, sure, I can go back to him, but I got to have something in my hands with it to show. And she gets the Gorget back. Love that. Love Jane.
Speaking of something in your hands, Bree's shotgun. Whew.
Yeah, girl. She's getting it done with that shotgun.
However, she's not patient. She sits down in the woods for a hot second. It's like, this is stupid.
Right.
It's about to give up. And then she sees
Fiona.
one figure. Two figures. No, she sees the guys in her house. She
Yes,
sees
yeah.
Callahan and Tweedledum in her house.
Yeah.
And Ernie and Fiona come on up
Yep. With the kids.
in his busted van.
And all Bree does is just disconnect the battery and reconnect it. And it's all fixed.
Well done, Brie.
Nice job.
Good job,
Fiona's
Ernie.
boyfriend.
It's not her. It's Ernie.
Whatever, Ernie. Bert. Good job, Bert.
Ernie is trying so hard. He's just like, I think you need to go to Boston. This place
Bert
is
is
a little
so
crazy.
clueless in life right now.
Oh my God.
He's got nothing. And like, it took this long for Bree to be like, yeah, I got to go back. Thanks, Fiona. It took Ernie to be like, yeah, you got to go check out with Raja. What? What? Should have happened 5 episodes ago. What are we doing? As soon as you got Jemmy back, it should have been boom, straight to the 1700s. And as soon as you saw that Rob Cameron was left the priest hole because he's got 2 randos with him, out of the house instantly. Go to church. I don't know. I'm just so out on the Rob Cameron story. I don't want to get down. I don't want to get down about it.
Totally okay.
I don't want to get down about it. Anything else you want to talk about in this episode, my love?
No, I enjoyed it a lot. Like I said, yes, I brought it down, but that's because I need some room. Need some room to breathe for the next couple of episodes.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful that Diana had this episode, as it had to put the dominoes in place.
Had
And
a lot
she
of heavy
did it.
lifting.
And she did it with like the levity and the love and the relationships that she created. It's just me being impatient, and I was like waiting for you to be surprised about some things, and you weren't. So I'm just gonna say, hold on tight, Spider.
Well, you know, I guess the other thing that I'm not surprised about, I suppose, is like them running into these characters, like George Washington just having dinner at his house. And
why can't people do that?
what do you mean?
Oh yeah, your house looks good. I'm gonna take it over.
Well, at that point, I mean,
Wartime.
you could say it's wartime martial law, that whole thing.
I'd be Miss Fig.
Excuse me?
Yeah,
Wait, we're having dinner tonight?
yeah.
Sure. Get yourself an apron. Get into the
Love it.
kitchen there,
Love
Jimmy. Jimmy, go get that. Go get the roller. We're gonna roll some dough out. Get kneading, Jimmy. All right. Anything else you want to talk about?
That's it.
A lot of heavy lifting by Diana in this episode. And I would say that in lesser hands, this probably would have been a disaster.
No, it's a lot. It's a lot, and she did a great friggin' job.
Yeah.
Because this is what she does.
This one needs a professional writer. This episode.
This one needs the author, and she did it
Yeah, I would agree.
super well.
All right, ready to close it out?
I sure am.
Let's do it.
How does a ragtag volunteer
I'm surprised you don't have the
army
lead,
in
the General
need
Lee
of
part.
a shower somehow
Oh,
defeat
yeah.
a
Well,
global
I'm doing
superpower?
Lafayette.
How do we
Yeah.
emerge
That's
victorious
good, too.
from the quagmire?
You gotta get up
the
to- it
battlefield,
takes a little while to get
waving
there.
Betsy Ross's flag higher.
Yo.
Turns out we have a secret weapon. an
Well, yo, my
immigrant.
friends,
You know
thank
when
you so
love
much for
is
tuning into this
unafraid.
episode. If you haven't gone down the Hamilton rabbit hole, this is your...
All right, hold on.
Everyone give it up for America's favorite Frenchman!
I'm taking this horse by the reins, making red coats weather with blood stains. I'm never gonna stop until I make them drop, I burn them up and scatter the remains down. Watch me engaging them, escaping them, and raging them out. I go to France for more fun. I come back with more guns and ships, and so their balance shifts.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's it. I want to thank you so much for tuning on in. We've had a blast chatting about this episode. We can't wait to hear your listener feedback on this episode. And yeah, my name is Mary,
My name is Blake.
and you've been listening to Outlander Cast. Swan job.
No one has more resilience or matches my practical tactical brilliance. You want to fight for your land back?
Need my right-hand man back.
Get your right hand man back. You know you gotta get your right hand man back. I mean you gotta put some thought into the letter, but the sooner the better to get your right hand man back.
Alexander Hamilton. Troops are waiting.